All right, so today we're diving into something that's pretty exciting, I think, and maybe a little bit mind-bending, too.
Yeah.
AI in entertainment.
Yeah.
You've probably heard about AI just, you know,
Everywhere.
making waves everywhere. And
Yeah.
it's a hot topic. But what's really fascinating to me is how it's already changing the way that entertainment is both made and experienced.
Exactly. And it's not just about robots taking over Hollywood, although we'll get to that too.
Oh, yeah, we have to.
It's really about how AI is becoming this incredible tool, almost like a creative partner,
Mm.
and impacting everything from movies and music to video games.
Yeah, and that's what we're unpacking today in this deep dive. We're going to look at how AI is revolutionizing these different forms of entertainment and what it might mean for the future.
Yeah, and I guess our mission here is to really equip you, the listener, with enough knowledge to understand the current state of AI in entertainment and hopefully spark some curiosity about where things are headed.
For sure. So let's start with the glitz and glamour of movies. I'm sure, like most of our listeners, you've seen a movie where you've thought, how did they DO that?
Oh, yeah.
Think about The Irishman with a digitally de-aged Robert De Niro.
Oh, it was incredible.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, and AI is playing a huge role in making this de-aging technology even more sophisticated and realistic.
Hmm.
You know, traditionally, this process was painstakingly slow
Oh, yeah.
and expensive, involving teams of VFX artists.
VFX being visual effects, for those of you who haven't ventured into the movie-making lingo.
Right, and they would spend hours and hours on end working on this. Now, AI algorithms that are trained on thousands of images can create a digital mask that captures an actor's facial features across their entire career,
Wow.
allowing for these really subtle adjustments to their appearance, making them look younger or older with a level of realism that just wasn't possible before.
Yeah, it's crazy and it's pretty amazing. But AI in movies goes beyond just de-aging actors. We're seeing the emergence of entirely digital influencers like Lil Miquela,
Oh, yeah.
who, believe it or not, has millions of followers engaging with her as if she were a real person.
I know, it's mind-blowing, and it brings up some really interesting questions about authenticity and identity in the digital age.
Yeah, for sure.
If we're forming these emotional connections with AI creations, blurring the lines between real and virtual, what does that mean for the future of storytelling?
Yeah.
Could we see a future where audiences connect deeply with AI characters, changing the way narratives are crafted and experienced? It's fascinating to think about.
It really is. And it makes you wonder, could we even see entire casts of AI-generated actors one day? Could AI be writing the scripts?
I mean, that's definitely within the realm of possibility. We're already seeing AI being used to generate music and even write poetry. So applying to screenwriting isn't a huge leap.
Right. And that leads us perfectly into our next area, AI in music production.
Yeah.
It might sound like something out of science fiction.
A little bit, yeah.
But AI can compose original music in a matter of minutes.
It's true. Tools like JukeDeck and OpenAI's Jukebox have been trained on massive data sets of music, allowing them to learn different genres, styles, and even the nuances of specific instruments.
Wow.
You can literally input the type of music you want, the mood, the tempo, and the AI will generate a unique piece just for you.
So it's almost like instant gratification. It's like having a personal composer at your fingertips.
Exactly.
And what's even wilder is that it's not just a toy for hobbyists. Big-name artists like Terrence Southern have already incorporated AI-composed tracks into their albums.
Absolutely. And this is where we start to see AI's potential as a creative collaborator.
Yeah.
Instead of replacing human musicians, it's providing them with new tools to explore different sounds, experiment with new ideas, and potentially even overcome creative blocks.
Yes.
It's fascinating to see how AI is pushing the boundaries of music creation.
It is. But I think there's a question on everyone's mind when we talk about AI and creativity. Are human musicians going to be out of a job?
Right, that's a valid concern, and it's a complex issue with no easy answers. Right now, I think the consensus is that AI is more of a tool, like a digital instrument or songwriting partner.
Right.
But as AI continues to evolve, it's hard to predict exactly what the future holds for the music industry.
For sure. And speaking of AI changing the game, let's move on to the world of video games. This is where things get really interesting in terms of AI's ability to create truly personalized and immersive experiences.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes down to a concept called procedural generation.
Okay.
Think about games like No Man's Sky, where AI creates entire planets complete with their own unique landscapes, flora and fauna.
It's like having an infinite universe to explore.
It is.
I remember being blown away when I first played No Man's Sky. It felt like every planet was a surprise, completely different from the last. For our listeners who might not be familiar with gaming lingo, procedural generation, Basically means that the AI is building the game world as you play, making it feel vast and unpredictable.
Exactly. And this ties into something we as humans crave: personalization. AI can analyze your gameplay style and preferences, and then tailor the game experience to make it more engaging and challenging for you specifically.
So it's like having a game that's custom made just for you.
It is, and it's only going to become more sophisticated as AI develops further.
Wow.
Imagine playing a game where the story adapts to your choices, or the difficulty level adjusts based on your skill level.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But it also makes you wonder, if AI gets so good at creating these personalized experiences, will we lose something in the process? Will we lose that human touch, that spark of creativity that makes games so special?
That's a great question, and it's something we need to think about as AI becomes more integrated into the creative process. It's a bit of a balancing act, isn't it?
Yeah,
We want to harness the power of AI to create these incredible experiences,
of course.
but we also want to preserve the artistry and human ingenuity that makes entertainment so captivating.
Exactly. And it's not just about games either. This idea of AI as a collaborator or even a potential competitor is relevant across all forms of entertainment.
Absolutely. Think about the potential for AI to create dynamic narratives in movies or TV shows. Imagine a film where the storyline changes based on your choices as a viewer, leading to a completely personalized viewing experience. Or think about personalized soundtracks that adapt to your mood in real time as you're watching a movie.
Wow, that would be something else. And it makes you wonder, could this lead to a future where entertainment is completely tailored to individual preferences?
It's definitely a possibility, and it raises all sorts of interesting questions. Would we still have those shared cultural experiences that come from watching the same movie or listening to the same song as millions of other people? Or would we all be living in our own little entertainment bubbles?
It's a fascinating thought, and it highlights how AI is not just changing the way entertainment is made, but also how we experience it. And of course, there's the big question that we've touched on already. What happens to the human artists, musicians, and game developers as AI becomes more sophisticated?
Right, that's the million-dollar question, and it's one that we need to be having open and honest conversations about. It's important to remember that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It all comes down to how we choose to use it.
Right. And that brings us to a broader point about the future of AI in entertainment and the need for responsible development and implementation. We've talked about some of the exciting possibilities, but we also need to be aware of the potential pitfalls. We need to ensure that AI is used in a way that benefits both creators and consumers and doesn't lead to the exploitation or displacement of human talent.
I couldn't agree more. We need to be thoughtful about how we integrate AI into these creative fields, ensuring that it complements and enhances human creativity rather than replacing it entirely. Think about it this way. What if instead of viewing AI as a threat, we embraced it as a tool that could empower artists and help them reach new heights of creative expression? What if AI could help us break down creative barriers, open up new possibilities, and ultimately lead to even richer and more meaningful forms of entertainment?
Now, that's a perspective I hadn't really considered before. It's almost like shifting our mindset from fear to collaboration. Instead of worrying about AI taking over, what if we focused on how it could help us push the boundaries of what's possible in entertainment?
Exactly. And that's where things get really exciting. Think about the potential for AI to help us create immersive virtual worlds, interactive storytelling experiences, and personalized music that adapts to our emotions in real time. These are just a few examples of what might be possible when we combine the power of AI with human creativity and ingenuity.
It's mind-boggling to think about. And it makes me wonder what you, our listener, are thinking right now. What are some of the things that stand out to you from our deep dive so far? What are your hopes and fears about the future of AI in entertainment? Do you see it as a threat or an opportunity?
These are all great questions to consider. And as we move into the final part of our deep dive, we want to encourage you to think critically about the role of AI in shaping the future of entertainment. It's a conversation that's just beginning, and it's one that we all need to be a part of.
Yeah, it really is a balancing act.
Mm,
We want all the amazing things AI can do,
right.
but, we don't want to lose what makes entertainment special.
Yeah.
That human element.
Exactly. And it's not just about games either. This idea of AI as a collaborator or even a potential competitor is relevant across all forms of entertainment.
Absolutely. Think about the potential for AI to create dynamic narratives in movies or TV shows.
Hmm.
Like, imagine a film where the storyline changes based on your choices as a viewer,
Oh, wow.
leading to a completely personalized viewing
Yeah,
experience.
that'd be something else. Or think about personalized soundtracks that adapt to your mood in real time as you're watching a movie.
Wow, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, could this lead to a future where entertainment is completely tailored to individual preferences?
It's definitely a possibility, and it raises all sorts of interesting questions. Would we still have those shared cultural experiences that come from watching the same movie or listening to the same song as millions of other people?
Yeah.
Or would we all be living in our own little entertainment bubbles?
It's a fascinating thought, and it highlights how AI is not just changing the way entertainment is made, but also how we experience it.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the big question that we've touched on already. What happens to the human artists, musicians, and game developers as AI becomes more sophisticated?
Right, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's one that we need to be having open and honest conversations about. It's important to remember that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill.
Right.
It all comes down to how we choose to use it.
Right. And that brings us to a broader point about the future of AI in entertainment and the need for responsible development and implementation.
Yeah.
We've talked about some of the exciting possibilities,
Yeah.
but we also need to be aware of the potential pitfalls. We need to ensure that AI is used in a way that benefits both creators and consumers and doesn't lead to the exploitation or displacement of human talent.
I couldn't agree more. We need to be thoughtful about how we integrate AI into these creative fields, ensuring that it complements and enhances human creativity rather than replacing it entirely. Think about it this way. What if instead of viewing AI as a threat, we embraced it as a tool that could empower artists and help them reach new heights of creative expression? What if AI could help us break down creative barriers, open up new possibilities, and ultimately lead to even richer and more meaningful forms of entertainment?
Now, that's a perspective I hadn't really considered before. It's almost like shifting our mindset from fear to collaboration.
Yeah.
Instead of worrying about AI taking over, what are we focused on how it could help us push the boundaries of what's possible in entertainment?
Exactly. And that's where things get really exciting. Think about the potential for AI to help us create immersive virtual worlds, interactive storytelling experiences, and personalized music that adapts to our emotions in real time. These are just a few examples of what might be possible when we combine the power of AI with human creativity and ingenuity.
It's mind-boggling to think about. And it makes me wonder what you, our listener, are thinking right now.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that stand out to you from our deep dive so far? What are your hopes and fears about the future of AI in entertainment? Do you see it as a threat or an opportunity?
These are all great questions to consider. And as we move into the final part of our deep dive, we want to encourage you to think critically about the role of AI in shaping the future of entertainment. It's a conversation that's just beginning, and it's one that we all need to be a part of.
Yeah, it feels like we've only just scratched the surface of this topic, and I'm already like buzzing with ideas.
It's a vast and rapidly evolving landscape, and what's so compelling is that it's not just about the technology itself.
Right. It's about what this technology means for us as creators, consumers, and ultimately as human beings, engaging with art and entertainment in totally new ways.
Precisely, and that's what makes this whole deep dive so important. We're not just exploring the how of AI in entertainment, but also the why. Why should you care about this? What are the implications that go beyond, the cool tech demos and the flashy headlines?
For me, it all boils down to this idea of AI as a collaborator. We've touched on it throughout this episode,
Right.
but I think it's worth reiterating.
Yeah.
What if instead of fearing AI, we embraced it as a partner, a collaborator in the creative process?
I love that perspective. It challenges us to rethink, the traditional roles of artist and audience and imagine new possibilities for creative expression.
Imagine a world where AI helps us to break down creative barriers, to overcome limitations, and to unlock new levels of storytelling and artistry.
It's almost like AI becomes this extension of our own creative minds, helping us to visualize and realize ideas that we might not have been able to on our own.
That's amazing. And that brings us to you, our listener.
Rare.
We've shared a lot of information today
We have.
and explored different perspectives, but now it's time for you to dive in and form your own conclusions.
Yeah.
What resonates with you from our discussion today? What excites you? What concerns you? As we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with this final thought.
Okay.
The future of entertainment is being shaped right now, and you have a voice in that future.
You do.
What kind of entertainment experiences do you want to see in the world? And how can we ensure that AI is used ethically and responsibly to create those experiences?
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep imagining, because the possibilities are truly limitless when it comes to AI and the future of entertainment.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI and entertainment. We hope you've learned something new, been inspired to think differently, and maybe even had a few aha moments along the way.
Until next time, Keep diving deep into the topics that fascinate you and never stop exploring the ever-evolving world around us.